And we're live. And a second ago, folks, there was actually light on Ted, but then he went to the dark side again. So,
did he say let there be light?
The dark side of Ted.
Oh, when George says
there you go.
Light.
Hey, all I would say is lighten up, Ted, okay?
You said that.
And let's see, we had Nigel and Eleanor in here first, and Brian just came in right on 8 o'clock on the nose, and Crystal came in at 8 o'clock on the nose. So welcome to you both. And
hi, Crystal.
Nigel
Hi,
and
Brian.
Eleanor. Now, Nigel calls Eleanor his big sis. So you look in the comments, I said Nigel, then Eleanor, all in the family. And for those of you who don't know the show, the first line of the song All in the Family is Boy, the way Glenn Miller played. That's why I typed that. Always the singer, always the musician. So it's always there.
Ooh, what's that?
My watch just told me I'm live now on Facebook. So welcome to another edition of Friday Night Tech Talk. As you can see, Ted, the real star, is here. I'm here. And we're live on YouTube and Facebook. So you can follow Mobile Geezer on Facebook or George Hayes on Facebook, or you can follow Mobile Geezer on YouTube, and you're going to get the same stream every single way. I guess there's a possibility that
A duo. What is she referring to, George? What's Eleanor going on about?
Because the song, did you ever watch the show All in the Family?
No.
Well, it started with him singing they were at the piano, and Archie would say, "Boy, the way Glenn Miller played," and then Edith would sing, "Games that played the hit parade." So I think that's what she means, Actually, when I was testing my mic just before that, I was testing it with, I was singing 3 Times a Lady, which is one of my best songs. So that's how I test myself. So if you feel like singing, Ted, you can look up the words to All in the Family, and we can sing a duo. You get to play Edith, though.
Excuse me, George. I put a snap. Do you know Snapchat?
I used to use Snapchat. I stopped.
Okay, you know it. Back in the day when you uploaded stuff to the Snap Map, it was for good, clean fun. This guy just sent me a snap of what appears to be cocaine.
Okay.
Report. I'm snitching. Let's check out this report.
I guess you got to say, it's all right, it's all right, it's all right. Cocaine. Okay.
There we go. Buying or selling drugs or weapons. The snap.
What weapons? What weapons?
Oh, no. It's the option that you pick. It's buying or selling drugs or weapons. The snap speaks for itself. I'm snitching. That's right.
Sounds right to me. Sounds like the right thing to do to me.
We also recommend blocking the Snapchatter. Block. And that's all it is,
folks.
That's
a very good idea. Eleanor loves this song to All in the Family, I guess.
By the way,
so I'm not sure I'm not sure if Will is coming in. I'm not sure if Mike is coming in. I think there's a somewhat of a possibility, but we'll just have to wait and see. They both have the link to come in. So I'm sorry.
By the way, I was saying last week, my nobody told me my audio was horrible.
Not for me, it wasn't.
I listened it over and it was, oh boy. So now I got a little something special. If you guys noticed the quality, let me know in the comments below. Got a little lapel mic.
The quality is excellent from here. But of course, to me, the quality was okay last week. But right now, the quality is excellent here. And anybody want to make a comment of Ted's audio quality to make him feel better.
All right, let's see some stories.
Okay. All right. Let's start with the top one. Clicking on it. And I'm sharing. And I just went with what I thought was the hot stuff for this week. So, well, I started with what I thought was the hot stuff for this week. Okay. So, to me, the big thing this week was iOS 14 for the iPhone and iPad too. But we finally have iOS 14.5 with the new Face ID mask features and Apple's app tracking transparency. It says the update is now available for iPad, iPhone, and iPad. I did get it. Oh, and Eleanor is saying she didn't mean that song. She meant 3 Times a Lady. Okay. And Eleanor says you sound real good, Ted.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Okay, so all of us who have the iPhone 12s and have an Apple Watch. Oh, right now I'm wearing my Samsung.
You mean anyone who has an iPhone from 7 to 12, right?
7 forward, right? And you have to have an Apple Watch with the proper update. Have been very aggravated for the last bunch of months when every time you have your mask on, you go to open your iPhone, you got to type in your passcode, and it really does get aggravating. Trust me, because I do it at work all the time. So I, like a lot of other people, was waiting for 14.5 because you can unlock your phone with your mask on as long as you have the Apple Watch, and it does work. I got mine Tuesday. No, Wednesday. And it works very nicely. And you look at your phone and your watch vibrates and lets you know that your phone just unlocked and everything is good to go. So just wanted to let you guys see the story. So to me, that was the big thing for this week since we were all waiting so long for it. So I will start off with this one. Go ahead.
So you now use an Apple Watch?
I alternate my watches. One day I use my Samsung Watch 3. One day I use my Apple Watch, and every other day I just switch them. So today I happen to have on the Samsung Watch, but yesterday and 2 days ago I had on the Apple Watch. And since I carry both a Samsung phone and an iPhone with me every day, it's easy for me to switch watches because I have both phones with me at all times. So this is on the verge. iOS 14.5 is out now with new Face ID mask features and Apple's app tracking transparency, which is kind of a big deal, which I have a follow-up story on that. So it was available for iPhone and iPad. I haven't even updated on my iPad yet. Apple has begun rolling out iOS and iPad OS 14.5. The latest software update includes the new app tracking transparency feature, which is a pretty cool feature, which lets users decide whether to allow apps to track their activity across other companies' apps and websites for advertising purposes. A pop-up will now appear whenever apps are designed to share your activity in this way. Facebook has heavily criticized, is an understatement, Apple over app tracking transparency, claiming that it presents a false trade-off between personalizing and privacy. That's because it's going to hurt Facebook's money. The new option could have a detrimental impact on Facebook's ad business. Let's hope so. Apple made a video to explain app tracking transparency. I'm not going to play the video here, but you guys, the notes are in the description, and the notes are also on Twitter in my post, and they're also in the Facebook post. So you can click on the notes and follow along, and you can play that video if you want. Perhaps the more important day-to-day iPhone usage, iOS 14 also includes a very helpful and timely new trick. If you own an Apple Watch, you can set your iPhone to automatically unlock without requiring a Face ID match or passcode as long as Apple's smart watch is on your wrist. That's true. This is designed to make getting into your phone that much quicker, while we're all still wearing face masks so frequently throughout the day. Installing watchOS 7.4 is necessary for this feature to work. That update is also available as of today, and this was 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Then there's a link in here on how to use the new app tracking blocker, which I haven't gone to yet. I haven't used it yet either. I was just excited for the mask to be unlocked with the mask on. iOS and iPadOS 14.5 include a ton of new emoji with a focus on inclusivity. The update adds the ability to watch Apple Fitness Plus workouts on a TV with AirPlay 2. Apple's podcast app is getting a new design and optional subscriptions. The latest video game controllers for the PS5 and Xbox Series X/S are now supported on the iPhone and iPad as of this update, which I think is a pretty cool thing, even though I don't do games. And all iPhone 12 models will allow for 5G connectivity in dual SIM mode in more countries, which I think is really good too. Starting with the 14.5 update, Apple will no longer default to a female-sounding voice for its Siri assistant. Instead, you'll be prompted to choose your preferred voice during device setup. Apple has a post up with all of the miscellaneous improvements and additions. Oh, yeah, and that selecting voice, I think there's 4 voices you can choose from now, 2 male, 2 female, and they're pretty cool. They sound much more natural, much more human-like. iOS and iPadOS 14.5 is rolling out to iPhone and iPad users now. You can check the software update section in your settings to begin the update process right away. So I can tell you the mask unlock with the watch works beautifully and it works great. And I'm very happy about it because it really was getting aggravating with the mask on. So I just thought that was a good story to let everybody know in case anybody else has been waiting for the same thing, or the security stuff. And that's what our next story focuses on. This one goes much more in depth on that. And I just thought it was a good story to include because it does give you a good idea of what's going on. Ted, do you want to take this one? You want me to take it?
Yeah, I'll take it. This is my favorite feature of the update, actually.
Yeah, I think it's by far the most important feature. The other one is the one we were all waiting for. Okay, I'm sharing it now. And this is on the Vox Recode by Vox. And Ted, whenever you're ready, you can take it away. Wait, let me welcome, who else is in here? Okay, I already welcomed Brian and Crystal. Renz is in here. Welcome, Renz. Good to see you, brother. And Don is in here. All right, so we're well represented. Okay, so of course we have Don, so we have 2 of you from the Dallas area now, Ted.
Yay.
And we got Renz from across the world, and we've got Nigel from the other side of the world. So we're covering the world pretty well here. I like this. All right, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. Why the new iOS update is such a big deal. According to from Rebecca Hewell. On Monday, Apple is rolling out a longer-awaited. Well, Apple already rolled out a longer-awaited privacy feature for iOS.
Yeah, we've already got it. Yeah.
The latest version of the company's mobile operating system, iOS 14.5, will prompt iPhone and iPad users to opt out of tracking tracking in apps that monitor their behavior and share that data with third parties. This new feature is a significant step for user privacy as it gives people more control over their mobile phone app data and how it's used by companies like Facebook and Google to target ads. At the same time, the move has frustrated app developers and tech companies that relied on the reservoir of user data for years and who fear that they'll likely be cut out from it in the future. The biggest difference most people will see with the introduction of the new privacy tool called App Tracking Transparency is a pop-up feature that appears when you open an app that tracks you. Look at that. Ugh. Since 2012, apps developed for iOS have used an identifier for advertising, IDFA, to conduct tracking across different websites and apps. Apps usually will collect this identifier so they can connect the information about the user gathered through the app to information about the user that's gathered elsewhere, like on the web, in order to better target ads. Before 14.5, Apple mobile users were able to limit and ad tracking through toggles deep in software settings, but this newest update directly prompts users to approve and disapprove this tracking for every app. With the app tracking transparency feature, however, apps will need users' permission to access a user's IDFA before conducting tracking, which could include collecting user data to sell the data brokers or linking a user's app data with third-party data that was collected in order to target ads. This new rules, Apple has said, will also impact other app processes, including sharing location data with data brokers and implementing hidden trackers for the purpose of conducting ad analytics. Some ad industries experts believe a large number of users will opt out of tracking when the new app tracking transparency feature goes live. The iOS 14.5 software update is considered a major win for user privacy and is expected to give iPhone users a much greater sense of the type of tracking that takes place in their device. In fact, privacy advocates were frustrated that the tool wasn't rolled out earlier. While Apple users had some control over ad tracking in the past, it's easier than ever for users to opt out of being tracked. They'll see a simple pop-up that basically prompts them to answer the question, are they okay with being tracked or not? If they are, things move on. Apple CEO Tim Cook explained in an interview with Kara Swisher earlier this month. If they're not, then the tracking is turned off for that individual with respect to that specific app. At the same time, this new Apple feature has frustrated other technology companies that heavily rely on this data to support their web advertising businesses. Google has announced a number of changes to its Google Ads systems following the announcement of the new Apple privacy features. The update has also led to a rather public fight between Facebook and Apple. Facebook has run a months-long media campaign claiming that Apple's changes will hurt personalized ads that support small businesses. The change is actually more likely to hurt Facebook, assuming many Facebook users opt out. Apple has been running a campaign of its own touting privacy and security as key features of its products for years. Tim Cook, the company's CEO, has long emphasized that Apple is not in the data business, a position that's increasingly put him at odds with Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. App tracking isn't the only big privacy update in iOS 14, which also includes privacy nutrition labels that encourages apps to provide explanations of their privacy that are easier to understand. The app tracking transparency tool won't necessarily mean an end to all tracking, and Apple is already playing whack-a-mole trying to find and stop other workarounds for identifying your device. Still, this newest feature is a new and in-your-face way to remind users about the kind of data apps are seeking about them.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very, very good update. And I agree, it makes it much easier to stop yourself from being tracked. And I think it's great. And with Facebook advertising against it, who the heck is going to believe anything Facebook says? Nobody that I know.
Not me.
Exactly. So I think Apple is doing a good thing here.
What do you think reasons are for? I actually let me check on my phone. I believe I left because it's two options. It's either don't allow or let you. You can either let them allow. No, it's either don't allow or let the apps ask you. And I set mine to let the.
That's what I would do. Where is it anyway? Let me go. I haven't even done it. Let me go in and do it right now. I'm going into settings. Where am I going?
He hasn't even done it, folks.
No,
It's
I
a good thing
haven't.
Apple. It's a good thing Apple turns it off for you by default, so it doesn't let anyone even ask.
All right, so where am I going?
Actually, I don't know. I usually just type tracking on the settings app.
Oh,
On the search bar, I just type in tracking.
All right, let me do it that way.
Let's see. You can also do it from the spotlight.
Tracking privacy. Okay. All right. Allow apps to request to track. Okay, I do have that turned on.
Yeah, it's automatically turned on.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just saying when they want to track, they have to ask first, right?
Yep. No,
Okay, so,
that just stops them asking. Period.
oh, that stops them asking?
Yeah. Period.
But it says allow apps to request to track. So that's saying allow them to ask.
Hold on.
That's what I have turned on.
Yeah, allow apps to track.
To
allow
request.
apps to request to track. When you turn
Right.
it on, it lets you ask them. When you turn it off,
yeah,
it doesn't even allow them to ask. It just says means you don't want to share the data with them.
Now I'll leave it on as long as they have to ask. I'm good. You know, so I'm good.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I'm not as privacy focused as a lot of people. I don't really care much of the time, but yeah, I'd rather have them have to ask than just do it. So I still think it's a great thing either way.
Yeah, I turned mine on to allow the apps to ask because I want to see. I want to see who's asking.
Yeah, me too.
And so far, none has asked. Not Twitter.
Yeah,
not Snapchat.
nobody on mine either. Yeah, not since I updated. So.
It's very weird. Not even Snapchat or Twitter. So I'm just like, how? The ones who usually make a business out of ads. So let me turn it off.
I guess it depends on how their tracking is programmed into their app, and I don't know how that is. You know, Brian is saying not to everyone. Brian, please expand on that a little bit, if you can. Obviously, you'd help us old folks, maybe even us young folks. All right, hopefully Brian is typing furiously trying to explain to the dumb old man.
Meanwhile, next story.
Okay. He's saying no tracking for everyone.
For anyone.
Are you getting that? I'm still not getting it. I'm still not getting what he means. Anybody who wants to chime in here and
I think he's trying to say by default, it doesn't. It stops apps from tracking for requesting to request your data.
That would make sense.
You have to turn it on, and then apps have to ask you permission.
They have to ask, and that's how I like it. Yeah, I think it's cool that way. Because I agree with you. I want to know who's asking. I want to know who's trying to track me. Yeah. So it makes sense.
All right. So the next story. Yeah. I got me and Brian. I got you, Brian.
Okay. Brian was okay. Ted was right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Ted. All right. Going on to Samsung. And I included this because it was Samsung's big event of the week. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
I didn't really care for it, to be honest.
It was okay. I'm not spending that money. Might be nice to have one of those Galaxy books, but I'm not spending that money right now. And I have an iPad Pro, so why do I need that? That's just me. But they are slick looking and thin as all get. I was watching Lou on Unboxed Therapy. Boy, that thing is thin and light. Anyway, this is on CNET. And like, as always with CNET's articles, you can press the listen button, you can listen to the entire thing, and it's an exact word for word of what we're showing you here on the article. So Samsung unpacks its Galaxy Book Pro, Pro 360, and more. And I should turn the sound off on my watch, shouldn't I? Sorry about that, folks. Let me set my watch to just vibrate. Okay, we're good. All right, here come the Galaxy Book Pro and Pro 360. Laptops more like smartphones, announced at the company's April Unpacked event. It's only April, and we're already up to Samsung's third Galaxy Unpacked event of 2021. This wasn't about phones, though. It launched the company's lesser known, at least in the US, Galaxy Book laptops. Today's new models start at $999 for the Galaxy Book Pro, $1,199 for the Pro 360, and new budget Galaxy Book and mainstream $1,399 Galaxy Book Odyssey gaming laptops. The Galaxy Books are Samsung's line of laptops designed for more connected operation, thin, light, and intended to work with the rest of the company's products, including its SmartThings smart home tech. This year, the company highlighted seamless operation between Windows and Android, and overall, it now sounds eerily like Apple's ecosystem. Sure does, but with the extra perk of touchscreens that make it even more phone-like. The Galaxy Book and Galaxy Book Pro models were designed in conjunction with Microsoft and Intel. That's right, they were both on stage. And bears Intel's Evo branding for its current gen light and responsive laptops, incorporating Thunderbolt 4 up to an 11th gen Core i7 Wi-Fi 6E and processing optimized for conferencing. Intel said it's the thinnest Evo design yet. It sure looks like it. Samsung claims they weigh only 2.2 pounds, including the charger. And watching Lou on Unbox Therapy, that 2.2 pounds may or may not be exactly right, but it's still pretty light. The Galaxy Book Pro is a clamshell, while the Pro 360, as you might expect, a 2-in-1. Both come in 13 and 15-inch and gold, blue, or bronze. Both incorporate OLED displays with Samsung's built-in low blue light technology. I like the fact that they have OLED displays. The Pro 360 supports the S Pen stylus, which is bundled. That's right, only the high one has the stylus. They have Mac OS-like live wallpaper that changes with the time of day. The keyboard has a lower travel at 1 millimeter, but refined scissor switches for better bounce. Samsung claims you'll be able to get 16 hours of work time out of the denser battery and up to 8 hours on the 30-minute charge. That's pretty impressive. The latter is an Evo requirement. While they're optimized for portability and have updated noise-canceling mics, they still only have 720p webcams. That's a downside, in my opinion. And while the Pro 360 incorporates 5G, it won't be coming to the US until later. Why am I not surprised? The 15-inch, well, I think they're doing better than last year, as you'll see as we go down. The 15-inch Galaxy Book also bumps up to 11th gen Intel Core CPUs and adds 4G LTE connectivity. A new Galaxy Book Odyssey goes with the RTX 3050 Ti and 11th gen Tiger Lake. They won't be available in the US initially either, though the Odyssey is expected to start shipping here in August. The latest Galaxy Books were announced in October. The last Galaxy Books were announced in October 2019, but most didn't ship until May. The new models are shipping much sooner, so they did beat that because last year it was a heck of a long time before they started shipping to the US. There's a lot of syncing among the Galaxy devices via proprietary apps that, to me, look like start menu bloat. I agree. There's an individual app for everything, just like a phone, right? Though they are the same apps as on the phones. Photos natively integrates with OneDrive. I think they would have done much better integrating with Google Photos. But that's just my opinion. Use your Samsung tablet as a second screen and drag and drop files between devices. Sounds just like Apple, doesn't it? So that was it. I just wanted to get that out there because it seemed like kind of a big deal story for those who are interested in laptops. And to me, these are pretty high-end laptops. So anyway, they look cool. I just don't want to spend, $1,000 to $1,500 on a laptop. That's just me. From what I saw on Unbox Therapy, though, it looks like a pretty good laptop if you're into it. And they all seem to compare it against, I guess the standard is kind of Dell's, Ted? Does that sound right to you?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the standard they seem to be comparing to is the Dell, which is the high-end. What's the high-end Dell laptop?
XPS.
You know the one I mean?
Yeah, XPS.
Yeah, they seem to be comparing everything to the XPS. So anyway, they sound pretty cool. And if you have that kind of money, go for it. So.
Meh. I did like one of them had the full HDMI port, though. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's true. So I threw in one more story from Samsung just because I thought this was kind of an interesting story for some of the richest tech guys in the world. So this next one, you going to take this, Ted?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. This was on Sam Mobile, who tracks everything in Samsung. Now, wait, your sound is going real fuzzy, and then it's going back to normal.
I was saying I thought that was Jet Li from the article thumbnail.
Oh. Yeah, your sound, it went fuzzy a little while ago, just for a few seconds, and then it went back to the. Now it sounds good again.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, sounds fine now.
Anyway, that thumbnail you put for the article, are you sure that's not Jet Li?
It just did it again for a split second. It went, like that while you were talking, and then it stopped. I don't know what's causing that.
All right, how about now?
Sounds good. Let's hope it stays that way.
All right. So Samsung Air is reportedly looking to secure a $450 million loan for taxes. The Samsung Electronics Vice Chairman Lee Jae-yong is expected to reveal the details of his inheritance this week. And fresh reports from the local media suggest that the heir is looking to finance the inheritance tax with bank loans. Jesus Christ, that must be a lot of stuff. The late Samsung chairman Lee Kun-hee left a fortune in stocks and assets behind when he passed away in October. Lee's heirs are expected to inherit stocks with a total value of 18.9 million won, also known as $17 billion.
Yep.
And they are bound to pay the highest inheritance tax in South Korea's history, calculated at roughly 11 trillion won, $9 billion. That is a big tax, I have to say.
It's huge. Yeah, biggest in history.
That's what, 16.8. That's more than half. That's almost more than half of the entire stuff they're about to receive. What?
I think they'll be fine.
The heirs can reportedly choose to pay the inheritance tax over the next 5 years after they pay their tax authorities 1/6 of the inherited value. The heirs are looking at an April 30th deadline for filing the inheritance tax. And in recent news, Lee Jong-young is now reported looking to secure a personal $450 million loan for the purpose of financing the inheritance tax. Does that sound sensible?
No, it doesn't. But and keep reading. This will be the highest personal loan anybody ever got too. But he's going to break it up. You'll see as you read on.
Lee Young might appeal to multiple financial institutions. A 500 billion won loan would go down in South Korea's history books as the highest single personal credit loan. And if someone can attain it, that someone is Lee Young. However, the industry watchers believe that a single loan of 500 billion won could be seen as preferential treatment by the public, and this may raise concerns. I mean, he clearly has the stuff to cover the loan.
But I can see where that would look bad if they would give him that in one shot. So it makes sense to break it up.
Because of this, the local media reports that Samsung's vice chairman is looking to secure multiple loans from different financial institutions. As for the chances of these loans being approved, an unnamed official from the financial sector cited by the Bell claims that there is no reason why banks cannot lend credit as the heirs have excellent personal credit worthiness and cash generating power, and the use of the funds is clear.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if I were a bank, I'd give them that loan in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I could see where getting it from one bank in one lump sum might really, might make
no. If I was a bank, I wouldn't give them the whole one sum. I'd break it up like, all right, I'll give you this much, but not the whole. No. No. If you give out that much money, how much money is it again? $450 million loan for just
yeah.
Actually,
yeah, so
no.
I agree with breaking it up because it's really going to look bad since he is such a probably the biggest businessman in the country. So I can see
if I was a bank and
I
just gave all that much money in just one go, if anything happens, that becomes my problem.
Well, yeah, but still, I think breaking it up is probably a good idea. And I don't see them getting any problem with getting a couple of loans from a couple of banks.
Hold on.
I just thought it was an interesting story.
When was this story? April 26th.
What are we on? Right.
I want to see what else that stuff includes that amounts to $17 billion.
Go ahead. Look it up.
Yeah.
You just make the story more interesting for the rest of us.
All right. Whose stuff?
If you want to share something, just let me know. I'll share it once you share it.
Yeah, we can go to the next story while I look it up.
Okay. All right. Another one I just thought was interesting. Microsoft's kind of going after Apple a little bit. I'm going to share the screen. Okay. This one is on Apple Insider. And Microsoft compares Surface Laptop 4 to MacBook Air in new ad. And it's only a 30-second ad, but it does go after them a bit. Microsoft has launched another advertisement featuring actors reviewing the Microsoft Surface Laptop 4. This time seizing the opportunity to take shots at the MacBook Air. The Microsoft ad follows up on one the company released in January, comparing the Surface Pro 7 to the MacBook Pro. The new ad includes two young actors who say they're siblings, presenting the 30-second review in a style reminiscent of YouTube influencers. Like the first ad, the new spot touches on well-trodden talking points about why the Microsoft ecosystem is supposedly superior to Apple's. These include a reference to touchscreens. After mentioning the Surface's touch capabilities, the sister asks, "Is the MacBook Air touchscreen?" The brother responds negatively with a disappointed look on his face. "How can you not have a touchscreen?" Apple has so far kept the Mac distinct from its touchscreen mobile devices like the iPad Pro. While the iPhone maker has filed patents that include mentions of touchscreen laptops, Apple executives have repeatedly dismissed the possibility, insisting that Pro users care more about performance and storage. The Microsoft ad also takes a dig at Apple's supposed port disadvantages and the dongles that can stem from that. Surface laptop has a USB-C and a USB-A. MacBook Air doesn't have that. Better bring your dongle, replies the other actor in an exaggerated monotone, wiggling an adapter like it's a wet noodle.
Yeah.
The Surface laptop, yeah. I watched the ad. I mean, it's hardly worth watching at all, but yeah, this says it all. The Surface laptop has one USB-C and one USB-A port. The MacBook Air has two Thunderbolt 4 USB 4 ports, which are backward compatible with USB-C. While Apple's setup requires adapters for USB-A accessories, its ports offer significantly faster maximum transfer. Yeah, sure, Thunderbolt's going to be faster than USB-C, that's for sure. The ad's final beat doesn't mention Apple explicitly, although it highlights one of the Mac's undisputed weak points, gaming. However, it does so in a potentially misleading way, I agree. Surface laptops run Windows, the actor says, so I can run all my favorite apps and games, chimes in the other. It then cuts to the two simply playing games on a Surface laptop using Xbox controllers. The Surface Laptop 4 uses integrated Intel graphics, which won't support AAA games that require a dedicated graphics card. That's why I think it's misleading. Since the laptop doesn't have Thunderbolt 4, it's doubtful that its USB ports could support fast enough speeds for an external GPU. The types of casual games one could play in a Surface Laptop 4 aren't on par with the big name titles one would buy a dedicated gaming PC to play. If Microsoft's ad copywriters were hoping to make a connection between Windows gaming prowess and the Surface laptop, it's a misleading one. I agree completely. Apple's latest MacBook Air launched in November. It adds the M1 chip, the first Apple Silicon for Macs. The processor will also power the 2021 11-inch iPad Pro and 12.9-inch iPad Pro when they launch in May. Microsoft launched the Surface Laptop 4 earlier in April. And that's the whole story. Anyway, it's a little misleading with the gaming stuff. I completely agree because that thing won't play any heavy-duty games. I just thought it was interesting that they went after Apple. You found something. You found what you were looking for?
Yeah, no, okay. I didn't get to see what was inside.
Something? You're just going to read us something?
Yeah, sure. But look at my comment.
Inside what?
I was saying Max Tech reviewed the new Surface laptop, and he actually compared it with the AMD version and the new MacBook.
Okay.
It wasn't that great.
Okay.
It still makes more sense to get a MacBook.
I would think so.
Did,
yeah.
What they did was interesting. Well, actually, I didn't think was actually it's not interesting. It was kind of dumb in my opinion. But for the Surface, they put on the charging brick. They included a USB port on the charging brick.
On the charging brick.
Yeah, they put a USB port instead of a like a Thunderbolt USB-C port or an Ethernet jack. Right. Or an Ethernet jack, like
that does sound kind of dumb. You would expect more an Ethernet jack.
Yeah, definitely an Ethernet jack. Like the Chromecast Ultra did it. the new iMacs do it. Oh.
What did you share? You shared just the stories.
Oh, I'm sorry. I switched it up.
You shared the wrong screen. I do that all the time.
There you go. Yeah, sure.
Now? Okay, there we go.
Hold on. Renz is saying something about holidays. Renz, you're all right, Renz.
Sorry, it's holiday today here, but I'm busy at home compared with work. Can't perform much over the chat. Sorry. Okay, so he can't talk as much being at home today as he talks at work. But okay, you're busy. Understandable.
Yeah. What holidays in the Philippines?
You have to ask Renz. Tell us what holiday it is. Labor
It's
Day
Labor
today.
Day.
Okay.
All right,
I
guys.
hope
So
you're enjoying your holiday, even if you are busy.
So I was trying to find out what the inheritance includes. Instead, though,
Yeah, basically how much he really got, right?
no, not the how much, what the contents. Like we were just told that it's just stocks and stuff. Actually, yeah, it was a lot of stocks. And in fact, one of the stocks in the inheritance, 50% of the inheritance contains 50% of Samsung Life, which is the life insurance company that Samsung has, which makes what's his name, Lee Jong-yu, officially the owner of Samsung Life. So that's what the inheritance includes.
And I think I remember from a story from a long time ago that Samsung Life covers just about all their employees worldwide, doesn't it?
Damn, I did not know that. So
I vaguely remember that from a story from like 2 years ago or something.
But there's this story. The Samsung heirs donate massive art trove. So the Samsung founding family will donate tens of thousands of rare artworks. Will donate tens of thousands of rare artwork. They have tens of thousands of rare artworks, including Picasso's and Dali's, to help them pay a massive inheritance tax bill. The Lee family, including his widow and 3 children, expect to pay more than 12 trillion won, yet $10.8 billion in inheritance tax, which is more than half the wealth Lee held in stocks and real estate, Samsung said Wednesday. I'm curious, if he had given this stuff while he was alive, would it have caused this bill?
I don't know.
Anyway, this...
I would think it would have reduced it a lot.
I know one popular way when you're trying to avoid an inheritance tax is you gift it to a relative as a trust.
That's true.
As a trust.
Yeah, right.
And then,
because trust can't be touched by anybody. Yeah. And can't be taxed.
So this will be the largest. I'm trying to see what... Okay, so it is our civic duty and responsibility to pay all taxes, the Lee family said in a statement. They had until Friday to report the extent of inheritance and payment plans to tax authorities. Hold on.
So they had to report by today.
Giving away the late chairman's vast collection of art masterpieces would reduce the taxable portion of his estate. Damn.
That makes sense.
Yeah, this family's a straight-up cartel.
Remember a couple of years ago, a couple of really big shots in that company went to jail for bribery and all kinds of crap.
So the family plans to donate 23,000 pieces of art pieces from Lee's personal collections to 2 state-run museums. They also include old Korean paintings, book, and other cultural assets designated as national treasures, modern Korean painters such as Park Koo-kwon and Lee Young-soo, or Lee Young-soo, I don't know how to say it, guys. They are also works of Marc Chagall, Pablo Picasso, Paul Gauguin.
Wow.
Ooh, a Claude Monet.
You got all my favorite artists on this thing. Chagall, Gauguin, Monet.
The National Museum
is one of my 2 favorites.
Of Contemporary Art said that 1,408 pieces it received from the Lee family was his biggest private donation. The works included Lysop's bull, Dali's family of marsupial centaurs. Oh, wow. They had the Monet's water lily pond. Chagall's red bouquet with lovers. Damn.
Well, wait, Monet's water lily is in the American Museum of Art in New York, because I've seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was,
I saw it years ago. Maybe it's not there anymore.
They probably had the copy.
Maybe it's not there anymore. This was 30 years ago.
Maybe the real one. Maybe the Lee family had the real one.
Or maybe they sold it from 30 years ago. I haven't seen it for about 30 years. Maybe that's interesting. Yeah, one of my two favorite artists is Salvador Dali. I have a couple of his prints that I brought at the Dali Museum. And what a nut job he was. Let's see. Oh, I can remove this. Okay.
I'm hungry.
Okay. I didn't come up with that many. Well, my stories were kind of short tonight, so it's probably going to be a little shorter show. But interesting. I'm glad you looked that up, though. That was interesting. Okay. Next story.
The Fortnite story. Bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that you or me?
That's you.
No, that's me. I read the left hand. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can read. You want me to read it?
I'll read it. I got it. Okay. This is the witness list.
On The Verge. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting to see what witnesses they would call and that stuff. You can skim around in this as much as you feel like.
I can read the whole thing. So this is the witness list. All right.
Okay.
So
it's very long. I don't think you want to read the whole thing.
This is the drama we should be caring about.
Yeah.
So
true.
Here's who Apple and Epic are calling to testify in next week's trial by A.D. Robertson. Next week, Epic Games and Apple will appear in court for a long-anticipated legal battle. This might take years, guys. Like, you remember Google and Oracle, which started 10 years ago and ended this year? This might be the next one.
This article says it's going to end by the end of next month. I highly doubt that, but that's what the article thinks.
Next week, Epic Games and Apple will appear in a court. Epic argues that Apple unfairly kicked its hit game Fortnite off the App Store last year, exercising an illegal monopoly over the ubiquitous iOS platform. Apple claims Epic is trying to break iOS platform's vaunted safety and security for its own game. Both parties have laid out how they expect to win their respective cases, and this week they've provided near final list of the people they expect to call for testimony. Apple and Epic both filed revised tentative witness lists on April 26th. The lists don't guarantee every witness will be called, and crucially, they don't tell us when we'll see a given person on the stand. But with the closely watched trial kicking off on Monday and likely running on to the end of last week, May, they offer a good picture of each party's planned strategy and what we can expect to see throughout the trial. Oh yeah, this trial might be over soon. George? I would say, yeah, this trial might be over, yeah, by the end of the summer. But I was saying, I'm anticipating appeals.
There's going to be lots of appeals, I would think.
Yeah. An Apple spokesperson described this list as being a fairly reliable indicator of who will be called to the stand in the trial, while Epic said it could vary strategy based on how the trial proceeds. That's interesting. So unsurprisingly, the lists are heavy on Apple and Epic executives and other employees. That includes Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, who appears on both witness lists. Apple CEO Tim Cook, who only appears on Apple's list, and other big names like Craig Federighi, Eddie Q, and Phil Schuyler. Since these figures were deposed before the trial, court documents have already revealed a few interesting details about the company's business, and we'll probably see more as they take stand. Epic and Apple are also preparing to call on outside parties with a stake in the app and gaming world. Both lists include Microsoft Xbox executive Lori Wright, for instance, and Epic is calling Adrian Ong from Match Group, which recently criticized Apple in a congressional hearing. However, as Bloomberg knows, Epic withdrew a request for testimony from Facebook's gaming head, Vivek Sharma, whose name doesn't appear in the filings. So let's rack them up. Apple's witness list. Apple employees, Tim Cook. On the Apple's side, Tim Cook, CEO, covers corporate values, Apple's business operations, development and launch of the App Store, competition faced by Apple. 1 hour, scheduled for 1 hour examination, 30 minutes. Craig Federighi, Senior VP Software Engineering, covering iOS's operating system, competition faced by Apple, Apple's investment and efforts to combat malware, spyware, and other issues relating to app security. Matt Fisher, App Store VP, covering marketing of apps available in the App Store, competitors and competition in the sale of apps and the different apps marketplaces, Apple's business relationships with app developers. Eric Gray, Director of Commerce and Payments, covering the design and operation of Apple's payment processing policies and practices. Tristan Kosminka, Senior Director of Marketing, covering Apple's App Store policies and guidelines, and Apple's investment in efforts to protect iOS devices' user safety and privacy.
Notice that's the one they don't put how long they expect it to
Yeah.
last. Yeah.
Phil Schuyler, Apple Fellow, covering Apple's business's operations, development, and launch of the App Store, App Store policies, guidelines. Damn, he's there for everything. App distribution,
Yep.
iOS operating, competition faced by Apple, design, development, launch, marketing of the iPhone. Scheduled for 6 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
Jesus,
heavy duty stuff. But until I read this article, I didn't realize that these companies had fellows just like universities do. I didn't even know that.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Michael Schmidt.
A fellow is like a specialist, at least as far as the universities goes. They're usually highly educated. They're usually people who write a lot of articles, who write books, people like that, as far as in universities. So I didn't know they had fellows in private companies.
Okay. Let's see. Michael Schmidt, Head of Game Business Development, covering the tools, services, and benefits that Apple provides to developers, including Epic, Apple's relationship with Epic, Epic's breach of its agreements with Apple, and Epic's other misconduct, scheduled for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Scott Forstall.
I would have thought that one would be 3 hours, wouldn't you?
Yep. Scott Forstall, former VP of
that
iOS
would be a long
software,
one.
covering difference between mobile devices and PCs, security, privacy considerations for mobile devices. Phil Shoemaker, former technology director, App Review, covering App Store policies, guidelines, App Review, curation processes, procedures, Apple's investment in efforts to protect iOS users from safety and privacy. Epic employees, Steve Allison, Epic Game Store General Manager, covering the Epic Game Store business model and financial projections, Epic Game Store's revenue split, the Epic Game Store's market share. Andrew Gatt, Engineering Fellow, covering enforcement of platforms, Fortnite anti-cheat measures, the importance of Apple's brand of protecting user privacy and security, Epic's use of Apple-provided tools and services, Epic's interest in working arounds to undercut Apple's 30% commission, and Epic's efforts to subvert App Review, Epic's campaign against app stores.
Another one I would expect to be a long.
Joseph Kreiner, VP of Business Development, covering benefits of cross-platform play, Epic's relationship with console manufacturers, contractual terms, commissions paid by Epic, and payment processing terms, fraud on Epic Game Store. Scheduled for 30 minutes, 10 minutes on cross-examination. Thomas Koh, Senior Director, Head of Online Business Strategy and Operations. He'll cover Epic's relationship with Samsung, Epic's contracts with Samsung, commissions paid to Samsung, and communications with Samsung, and Epic's campaign against app stores. Mark Rain, VP of Business Development, covering Epic Game Store's business model, commission, benefits of Apple marketing, and other support providing to Epic. Epic plans and practices concerning distribution through iOS, competing platforms, and alternative channels. Epic's campaign against app stores, scheduled for 15 minutes and 5 minutes cross-examination. Tim Sweeney, the CEO, covering Epic's business model, operation strategy, and Epic's financial performance. Epic's dealings with Apple and competing platforms, including commissions paid. Epic Game Store's profitability, and Epic's relationship with Samsung, including Epic's contracts with Samsung, commissions paid to Samsung, and communications with Samsung. Daniel Vogel, CEO, covering Epic's exploration of side loading on iOS and Android. I'm curious about that one. Epic's launch of Fortnite outside of the Play Store, security of Fortnite and Epic's Game Store, including Xsola payment processor, concerns of cross-platform arbitrage of VBricks purchases, Epic's attempt to avoid App Store review process, and Epic's campaign against stores.
Well, this one makes sense to me because covering Epic's exploration of side loading on iOS and Android. Well, his whole value has got to have become a lot bigger since this whole started, don't you think?
Yep.
And Will is in here. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
Oh, hey, Will.
We're going over the witnesses for the Epic and Apple trial starting Monday.
Uh,
All right, go ahead, Ted, whenever you're ready.
So I was just making the line light.
Ted, you want to continue?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. I'm sorry, I just scrolled down. I lost my place. Let's see. Yeah, Twim Sidney and then Matthew Wissinger. Then it goes on to Apple's. Oh, yeah, who are these guys? These guys are all the witness list. Let's scroll down to, then we have party witnesses, which is Lori Wright of Xbox. She'll cover Microsoft Store, Xbox Games Console, and Xbox Cloud Gaming and distribution of apps in the App Store.
And she's on both witnesses lists, remember.
Then we have Benjamin Simon, founder of CEO Yoga and Booty, covering Yoga Booty's apps, business model, tools, services, benefits the Apple Store provided to Yoga Booty, and participation in the Coalition of App Fairness and App Store review process. Then we have Shelley Gould, president and co-founder of Neurofin Smart Stops, covering Smart Stops apps, business model, App Store review process, and communications with Apple. Then Ashish Patel, director of product management, NVIDIA, covering tools, services, and support that Apple provided to NVIDIA, distribution to the competitor platforms and through alternative channels, communications with Apple, compliance with Apple's App Store review guidelines, and NVIDIA's affiliation with Epic. Then they just have documents submitted by Alphabet, App Annie, and Roblox. And
Anyway, I told you this was a very long list.
Yeah, and a lot of it is repeated.
Anyway, it's interesting.
But at the last expert list, they have Susan.
Some of them
that have Susan Athey from Stanford University Graduate School of Business, then Ned Barnes, Berkeley Research, Michael Craig of the Brattle Group, and Nancy Mathiowicz, Professor Emerita, Department of Sociology.
Ted.
Yeah?
Look at the bottom of the screen.
Which screen?
Your computer screen. Who's running the thing? You got
George.
somebody in the waiting room. Somebody's in the waiting room.
Oh, wow.
I was like wondering what did I do? I'm about to go home. Nobody wants to play with me.
To follow.
I'm sorry.
We still love you.
I was like going, ooh. Okay.
No.
Hi, I'm here.
Wait, I'll make you feel better. You got a friend in me.
Okay. All right. I was like going, what's going on? Nobody's talking to me. Okay, I'm better now. Hi, I'm here today. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
All right.
James
That's right. We're about done here, aren't we, Ted?
Yeah, then there's just some guy from Harvard
Oh,
University.
we got more. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. It's a long list, guys. Long list.
Okay.
Long trial.
So they got a heck of a lot of witnesses. All right. So the big trial starts this. We've got Mike and Will. This is a momentous moment. Oh, Eleanor's still in here to see you.
Don't forget, we had a pink moon. So
look at Brian's comment. The four horsemen unite.
Yeah.
Ren says Friday night Tech Talk reunion.
Yes.
And Mr. Overtime has entered the chat. That's true. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm
It's
telling you,
so
the moon is
great
just in the
to
right
have-
place.
So great to have you guys here, man. This is
I had
awesome.
to dig them up.
Well, wait,
And
hold
we're
it.
glad
Hold
you
it.
did.
Correction. You might dig me up, but somebody took a few days off from work too. So
Yeah,
he came out from the
here.
schoolroom and didn't come.
I was here last week.
That he
2
was,
weeks ago.
Mike.
Yeah, I know. Okay, all right.
I'm just glad to have you guys here. That's all.
Yeah. I'm here. I was like, we're going to do this. So Will and I've been catching up on things, and also.
Now you guys did one last night, right?
Yeah,
I got. Yeah, we did one last night. I
never got a notification when you went on. I got no notification whatsoever. I only knew it because Eleanor told me.
Mike doesn't know how to put the key terms in the YouTube don't care about.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I went back and looked and I was subscribed, and I looked and I had notifications turned on, but I got no notification at all.
That's all right. I'm just a 2-bit, 800
here
sub
we go.
guy.
Here
anyway.
we go. I'm the guy who low rates himself, not you.
No. Let me tell you, that was a bit of sarcasm. All right, I'm just full of it. I'm here to break up the show here, and not in a bad way. I'm here to stir the pot and get Will going on too.
I've had people tell me I'm full of it before. That's nothing new.
So what's going on, guys?
Is there anything you guys want to talk about specifically?
Yes.
Or are we just going to
yes.
talk in general?
Go ahead, Ted.
Go ahead.
I want to hear what Ted wants to say.
Actually, no, I'm sure right now, George. In the last article, we were talking about articles that came up because of this trial between Epic and Apple. And we saw this story. I didn't know this is how we found out. Oh, George, share it.
You want me to share it? Okay, got it. There you go.
So, this is how
look at this.
Yeah, because of the trial, this is how we found out that Eddie Q wanted to bring iMessage to Android in 2013.
Oh, man.
And he was like, guys, 2013, Eddie was so scared. He was like, do we want to lose one of the most important apps in a mobile environment to Google?
And we all know the history.
Can a man have ever? He didn't know, he was overestimating his opponent. That's what was going on.
Exactly.
Really?
No, Ted. Thank God they didn't put it on. They didn't do it.
Why?
Because what benefit would that give you?
I mean, it would have benefited us users. It wouldn't have benefited Apple.
Exactly. So it would listen if they gave iMessage to Android, right? Let's just say everybody said, "Oh, okay, we can just use Android." Then we would be stuck with Android. That's it. There would be no alternative. It'd be Samsung and OnePlus. Who else do we? And Google. That would be it.
And Google, yeah.
What do you mean?
You're right. That would be
because iPhone would have died. iPhone wouldn't have made it.
iPhone wouldn't have died. What are you talking about?
Yes,
I don't know about
I
that.
don't think it would have died, but it certainly wouldn't have had the exclusivity it has.
Just like he said, who would go out and buy, let's say at that time, 2011 or 2013. So I think they were on the iPhone maybe 6. So who would have spent $700? Huh? No. The 4.
iPhone 4. 4, yeah. They're in 30.
I think 4 would be more.
My brother got the 6. My brother got the 6 and 14.
2011?
And so did I.
I mean, 2013 was only was the what, Mike?
Yeah, 2011
or the 5.
No, 2013 would have been iPhone 4.
Yeah, iPhone 4.
Yeah.
The iPhone started. I think the iPhone was only starting to get special with the iPhone 4S. With the
iPhone started. The iPhone 5S was in 2013.
Okay.
So nobody would have spent that kind of money when you could have bought a $100 Samsung phone and had iMessage on it.
Nah.
So Apple wouldn't have made it. Apple makes too much
trust
money.
me. In 2013, a $100 Samsung phone was the Samsung Galaxy Ace, and that phone was ass. So,
well, listen, it don't have to be that phone, but whatever phone it was, if iMessage was a big thing to keep people on iPhone, nobody would have bought it. He was right. Why would you do it? That's Google's method. That's Google's plan. Let's give everybody what the Pixel has and hope we can sell a Pixel. But Google doesn't.
Don's backing Will up. He got the 5S in late 2013.
Google doesn't depend on phone sales. Apple does. Apple needs their phones to sell.
That's
Google
true.
doesn't care.
Sure. And if Android would have had iMessage, Android dominates around the world. They probably would have dominated a little more at that point.
But we would be in the same position because it would be Samsung and that's it, really.
Yeah, that would be it. You're right.
iMessage keeps people on iOS, but I don't think it would have killed. It wouldn't have killed the iPhone. I think more people would have.
But Ted, listen. What would
have left?
No, listen. What would be the benefit of using an iPhone if there was no iMessage?
But so right now, apps like some apps are like Snapchat are just better.
Yeah, but nobody would have cared because the people use their phone.
Nobody would have cared. Instagram.
Instagram. This sounds like a good movie. An alternative history. An alternative history.
You got to go back to 2013. There was no Snapchat. There was no whatever. People were worried about messaging. Facebook was just coming online. Was trash. So iMessage made messaging good. Android hasn't had good messaging until now. If you know what RCS is.
So what was iMessage like back in 2013? Also,
you can't count iMessage in 2011 when it came out. Allowed you to send a video or send a picture, and it looked good. Android just got that a year and a half ago. If you take out a
it's only been about a year that Android could do that.
If you get rid of Telegram, WhatsApp, and all that on Android, you can't send a photo that looks a video that looks decent. You have to use a third-party app, and the problem is the other person has to have that same app, just like with iMessage.
Yeah,
that's true.
And for us, where I was from, it was actually BlackBerry Messenger was the most popular one.
Yeah, like BlackBerry. BlackBerry did the same thing. That's why BlackBerry was. Ted, you keep cutting out. That's why BlackBerry was a thing because they had BlackBerry Messenger. Nobody complained when they did it.
True.
Nobody complained when BlackBerry had their own messaging app.
Yeah, nobody complained.
Well, BlackBerry was dominant back in those days.
But BlackBerry did move to Android, the messaging app to Android.
Yeah, when it was already dead. When they put it,
when they were just about out of business,
Nobody was using BlackBerry no more.
All right, so the latest deposition cites a specific email exchange between Q and Craig Federighi, currently Apple's SVP of software engineering, beginning on April 7th, 2013. The exchange came after the news circling that Google had attempted to purchase WebSat for $1 billion. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
According to the exchange, Q took the rumors as a sign that iMessage should expand to Android to cement Apple's hold on messaging apps. Note, we have reconstructed the email based on portions verified in deposition since the underlying exhibit. Q, we really need to actually let's do this like acting. Let's see. Mike, do you want to be Q? And
I'm trying to find the stories. We
didn't have this as one of our stories.
No.
Sorry, Mike. Yeah, it's going to be on the private. I'm going to share it on the private chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, so going to the private chat, you should see it.
Copy. Paste. There we go.
Okay.
And
now
Will. Yeah,
okay.
Mike, you be Q, and Will, you can be Federighi.
Oh, hold on, I gotta click on it.
Okay.
Which one am I? I'm the one who said no, right?
Yeah, you're the one who said no, of course.
Yeah, I was the smart one.
So you want me to be Q?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Q, Mike.
Hold on, where are we at? Where are we at, Mike? I'm all confused. I see a whole bunch of redacted stuff.
No, just go to no. You're down too far, I think.
Hold on. I'm going back up.
See you there where it says in pink or magenta, we have the best messaging app, and we shouldn't make it the industry standard.
Oh, okay,
Just
yeah.
below that.
Oh, okay,
just below that.
Okay, so
all right, Mike.
So is it okay? I don't know what Q. I never seen this Q fellow in action. So we really need to bring iMessage to Android. I have a couple of people investigating this, but we should go full speed and make this an official project. Do we want to lose one of the most important apps in mobile environment to Google? They have search, mail, free video, and are growing quickly in a browser. We have the best messaging app, and we should make it an industry standard. I don't know what ways we can monetize it, but it doesn't cost us a lot to run.
All right, now look, I'm going to break up the thing, but just think about it. He just said it doesn't cost them a lot to run it. So if they were able to do this, like who was that? Mike Juan Bagnell yesterday. He was in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, why didn't Google do this? Like, why doesn't Google doesn't even make their messaging app the default? He said because
they don't.
They'll get sued. He said because they'll get sued or whatever. But that's the most ridiculous thing. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Why would they get sued?
He said they would get sued, didn't he, Mike? He said they would get sued if they did that. Because
but he was comparing it to a particular incident with Microsoft.
Yeah, like Microsoft.
Oh, I see. He's saying that somebody would come after them for monopolistic practices.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know. It's just, to me, it doesn't make sense. Google dropped the ball. But anyway, here we go. So Federici said, Do you have any thoughts on how we could make switching to iMessage from WhatsApp compelling to masses of Android users who don't have a bunch of iOS friends? iMessage is a nice app or service, but to get users to switch social networks, we need more than a marginally better app. This is why Google is willing to pay $1 billion for the network, not for the app. In the absence of a strategy to become the primary messaging service for the bulk of cell phone users, I'm concerned that iMessage on Android would simply serve to remove an obstacle to iPhone families giving their kids Android phones.
And I agree with that.
Now that's you would be dumb. He would have been dumb to be like, yeah, let's put it on Android. That's Google does that.
Yeah, that's true.
And Google only has that luxury because they don't have to sell phones. Google doesn't have to sell phones. You don't see
which is what I've been saying all along, isn't it?
Samsung doesn't jump out the window. Not even the DeX is that big, but some people like it. They don't put DeX on everybody else's phone. You know what I mean? Like, that's dumb. True. You got to keep some stuff just for your phone to make it special.
Exclusive. Yeah, you got to have some exclusivity.
Otherwise, every phone is the same.
Hey, Will, I just went back. I got the video up on my screen here. It says, because if you force something like that, you'll end up in a class action like Microsoft did with browser back in the day. That was, and I'm just reading.
I remember that. I remember, Microsoft got stomped in that. I remember that.
Okay.
I don't understand the whole thing, but like, listen. So on Android, right? It's open source or whatever. So when you want to use Android, right? Ted, you might know better than anybody. I don't know, or you or George. When you want to use Android, you have to agree to put the Play Store, whatever, right, on your phone.
Yes.
Right? So
all
they got to do is throw messages in there. It's not like they're forcing you to keep it. You can switch it.
I agree with you, but since one, I got to believe there's a reason.
They didn't used to put.
What was that question again? I don't remember agreeing to what?
Yeah, when a company decides to use Android, they have to agree to put the Play Store, and Gmail messages on there. Because even like I was telling Mike yesterday, there's still people that I know who have Android who still don't know that RCS exists because their phone might have came with LG messages or whatever other messaging app. Like Google doesn't, they're not trying to push their thing. Like it drives me crazy when people say
on both my Samsung phones, the default was Samsung's messages app. I always have to switch to
you got to switch it. Yeah. People will say iMessages is what keeps people on iPhone and Apple is trapping you and blah blah blah, but Google doesn't do anything to push their service, so why would you leave?
Right, to get you over there. No, you're right. You're 100% right.
You're not pushing it. You're not giving me a reason. Like everybody will say use Telegram, it's better. And yeah, Telegram might be better than iMessage, but you have to get the person to switch to Telegram. It's just another app. Most people don't want to deal with that.
True.
We like it because we like tech, but if you go ask somebody in the street if they use Telegram, they're gonna be like, "What's Telegram?"
Right. Or wait a minute. Or how about how about the person that has a Samsung phone and you tell them about the Android app, the messaging app?
Yeah, they
were like, "What's that?" Right.
They're just going to say, "Well, my messaging app is just fun." They're going to stick with it. Yeah.
That's why Apple won with messaging, because they made it simple. It's the app that comes on the phone. You don't got to do nothing. You don't got to, that's it. It just works.
Plus the fact Google would have to push RCS to make people realize how good it is. Unless they push it, people are not going to pay any attention to it.
George, you know what though? Like, I don't know. RCS is great.
RCS, but it's too late. A lot of things that are going on right now on Android is way too late.
They would need for me or Mike or you or whoever to do like we were doing. Remember, Mike, when Duo and Allo and all them things count, you got to push somebody to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
This, and then you got to hope Google doesn't kill it.
George, I'm surprised you said that. You have. I'm sorry, George. You have Samsung messaging. It came out of the box that way, because I thought the default was going to be Android messaging.
No. The default is Samsung messages.
Wow, I thought it was only United States.
No,
I thought there was some talk about that.
No, what they did do was they did something where I think if you put the messages app on a Samsung, I think it's supposed to start making it look like conform to the One UI to try to make it.
No, that's the update they're talking about. I'm talking about when the phone first came out.
Oh, no, it comes with Samsung messages app.
It comes with Samsung messages as standard. I always switch it right over to Android messages, but it comes default because I right now I have two of my Samsung phones have a SIM card in them. They both came with Samsung messages.
There was a thing on, I think it was on 9 to 5 Google, or maybe Android Police had something about that messaging app now that you can download it, but it looks like to be a side load.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Now, the one thing I did notice on other phones, when I switched to the Android messages, it had to go through a little rigmarole to make RCS work right. With the Samsung phones, as soon as I switched it to Android messages, RCS was working immediately.
Yeah. And to George's point, it seems like from phone to phone, certain phones are finicky. My Motorola phone is extremely finicky when I switch it from to that US Mobile I had.
Okay.
But I know I can switch to T-Mobile and Mint Mobile, and because they're both on the same network. It seems like it's a network issue, but also the phone too. I put it in my, when I did the Pixel, there was really no problem. So
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what, Mike? That's just another obstacle. And try going off of RCS without turning it off. You'll be stuck like iMessage. Your messages will keep going wherever until Google decides to fix it, and then you'll get.
I think right now the only way Google could really make Android messages get the public's attention, they'd have to use television campaign. There's no other way they could do it. You know.
I don't even, George, you know what? I think it's too, like I think Mike said, it's too late. Like now people are in a camp now. It's either iPhone or Android. So
yeah, but if you have a television campaign, if you keep pushing in people's faces, they're going to accept it at some point.
But you know what? Okay, look, George, you know what? I'll tell you why.
I want to add to this something else. Go ahead, Will. You first.
RCS loses because RCS is like, it's basic. It doesn't do anything else. Like you send messages, you can react, you can do read receipts. They haven't added no kind of feature. And all those stupid features that we might not like on iMessage.
But that's so Google, isn't it? That's what they do.
You might not use none of those features, the Animoji or the games or but you see how you can integrate into it and have a YouTube tab there and click it and send the video, share. RCS, they haven't done none of that. They haven't added nothing to it.
And that's what Google always does. They put something out, it's halfway decent, and they ignore it. You know.
What would you even show on the commercial?
Yeah,
see,
they'd have to come up with something.
They did something with I was shocked. I remember when Google Photos came out. They were actually their angle was that they were really targeting iPhones, showing people running out of storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what? Mike, listen, Mike. Here's. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is what I don't understand about Google. Well, I guess you can understand it because they don't care about selling phones. But they're like, here, you can run out of storage on your iPhone. So download our app on your iPhone. You still don't got to buy Android. Like they let you not want their phone.
But they were fairly successful in getting people to use Google Photos. That's pretty successful.
They got you to use Google Photos, but they don't make you buy an Android phone.
That's true.
That's supposed to be the whole thing. They should be like, you know what? Google Photos with the storage backup is only on Android. Don't put it on iPhone. Let the iPhone people keep running out of storage. Give them a reason to want to switch. If I was Samsung, I would be like, what are y'all doing? Like, you're trying to, you know what I mean? You're making it easy for them not to switch. Google should be having a meeting now. Somebody should be in Google's office.
There's a comment. Jason C is in here. He has an interesting point.
Hey, Jason.
But the question is,
you're
what else is there?
Right, Jason. That's exactly what Google always does.
Oh man, we got Big House in here. Who we need? We need Gary.
Big House.
Gary. Somebody.
Jason, thanks for coming in, brother.
And and to his point though, okay, they're going to, if they killed RCS, well, let's play devil's advocate. Then what are they going to use? What other form of messaging app could they use?
Mike,
they'll stumble around like they always do, like Will says.
Google Pay has messaging. Google Photos has messaging. Every other app they have, you can message in it.
Yeah, you can message. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So.
But Google should have been having a meeting the same way that Apple guy was. Somebody should have been telling them, you know what? If we,
Look at the comment. Oh, George shut it down.
Oh, I'm sorry. If Will on Google, iOS doesn't need the YouTube app.
No, because listen. If I was in a Google
that would be crazy.
I would be saying, don't you think this is making it easier for people to go to an iPhone? You're giving them search. You're giving, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it.
You know what? And my snarky comment is, meanwhile, Roku and YouTube TV can't get along, so they decided to pull the app.
True.
You know what I mean?
That got ridiculous right away. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So listen. Now wait, that's a good idea. If Google went and pushed their what's it called? The thing that I got.
The new Chromecast. Yeah, their new.
They push that. Why don't they push that? They should push it.
They should.
But in the email that I got, they were touting. They were touting. Wait, they were touting that how they let the app to be on various devices, and then they proceeded to show or worded in the email how to be able to cast it. So they're already they have a device. They should be pushing the device to Will's credit. But meanwhile, they're giving, you know what I mean? So
Google just, what do you say? I don't understand.
Google just cares for your info for ads. Doesn't matter if it's iPhone or Android. He's probably got a point there. Google cares
what it
about
is,
his ads.
Google doesn't have to sell phones. That's
See what,
all.
I don't want
Jason
a multi-billion-dollar company in a world of copying that they can't recreate iMessage.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that, Jason, is even if they did recreate iMessage, they still wouldn't have direct contact with all those iPhone users. That's the problem.
Yeah, but George, you know what? In the beginning, when Android messaging was terrible, for all them years, and Apple went in 2011 and came out with iMessage, Google had no answer. They didn't. They had Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do nothing with it.
I think they thought Allo was the answer, and Allo was a
but look how many years
Allo came out much later.
Allo was trash.
And it was a total flop almost immediately.
It didn't have fallback to SMS. And then
because Allo didn't come on people's phones like as soon as they buy it. It wasn't pre-installed, but Duo now is, so that's weird.
And Duo is but Duo from the beginning was much better than Allo, way better than Allo. Yeah.
You know why Allo was bad? Because it was like they.
Oh my God, Gary's here.
They targeted it to India. That's why, because it had all these weird.
You're here, Gary.
And it looked like a cartoon. It wasn't like a serious. It wasn't like a serious messaging app.
Okay.
Yeah,
everybody was looking for you, Gary. So we're glad you
came. Allo had the functionality that you wanted. You could send pictures. It was like they were testing it because they put in there
exactly.
Allo,
it was like a beta,
when it first came out, Allo was actually missing features. It was features were being rolled out to it slowly.
But Ted, you remember they had the feature where it would like automatically come up with replies for conversations. You could search in there about restaurants and directions, and then they just moved it.
It didn't come out right off the back box though.
Yeah, but what they did was they killed Allo and moved all that stuff over to Assistant and put it in messages. It's like they were just testing it. But in the meantime, here you go. You got to tell people, try Allo, and then they kill it. So it's, that's Google. Been really busy, George. What's going on?
It's exactly what they did with Hangouts. For the first time, it looked like Hangouts was going to be the de facto SMS app. Then all of a sudden, Google said, you know what? This is just for businesses.
Exactly. I mean, that was so Google. This is the kind of crap they do all the time,
And we keep on coming back and buying their stuff. Oh, sorry.
Not me.
Yeah, but Mike,
wait. Should I get the? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Can I have another? Okay, with the whip in my back. Okay.
Gary, you're the first person I've actually heard say Allo was good. I tried hanging
Allo
on to it.
Allo was good, George. Allo was good. If you had somebody to use Allo with, Allo was a good app. There was not.
That's a big if you had somebody to use it with.
I tried to get people to put it on. They wouldn't put it on.
But it's the same. It's the same problem with Google Messages. You got to tell somebody. If you see somebody with a Samsung phone, they're not going to go out of their way to install Google Messages because they don't even know.
Because Samsung Messages works just fine. Yeah, that's true.
And as far as they know, Android can't send a picture to iPhones or a video to iPhone. So why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
What I don't know. Google is something.
Now, listen. What we're all here having is this discussion. We're all discussing over a messaging app, app that seemed to have a divide and have a able to make people stick to one particular and it's a driving force, and obviously the younger generation was affected by their parents, you know what I mean? And Will and I talked about this, about how the first days of Android, the first years of Android, and that one bad experience, and then people were like, "Oh, we'll try this iPhone," and they found out that it was. That's
true.
Okay, so now we all. I told Will. I don't know if I said it yesterday in the show or what. I was at a family function. And one of my cousins I haven't seen in a long time, we got talking about things, and they actually saw they know about me being in being into the phone thing. So she said, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got an iPhone. Yeah, I'm it's all right. I kind of like my Android. I go, why'd you stick with me? He goes, well, my daughter really wanted me to have an iPhone.
Okay.
Okay.
This is what people do.
And all over a messaging app, and that was like one of those pivotal moments when Fergie and Q were having this discussion, because they weren't thinking. Yeah, they weren't thinking. I mean, they were thinking what's going to have an effect on the company and developing. They knew they had a good thing with this iPhone, but now it's right. Not just the industry standard, but also now it's a social situation where
it's the industry. Keep in mind, it's the industry standard in America, not in other places. WhatsApp is the industry standard in other places.
And
but hey, look at what Jason. Jason's absolutely right. I find people that are not using iMessage almost always go to Facebook Messenger before they go to anything else.
Right, and that's what I was saying. That's why I call it Facebook Messenger. And my little thing here is saying about a crazy idea. If you look at Facebook Messenger, it's a straight up ripoff, straight up rip on the iMessage, because it has blue bubbles. It has a little wavy thing when you see somebody interacting. You do a lot of things you can do on an iMessage. The same mannerism, how you operate it.
The thing that aggravates me about Facebook Messenger, when somebody sends me a message, Facebook Messenger, it gets in your face. It makes you know it's there, and it will annoy you until you go to it.
You got.
Wait a minute. Now I don't know. Now, funny you mentioned that, George. I get my iPhone, when I get a message on my iPhone on any message from any platform, except for Facebook, believe it or not. I know Telegram and a message of some kind, iMessage or SMS text message. That phone will still chime and chime and chime until I pick it up. Now it will stop after about the fourth chime, but the same idea.
Mine. Now, of course, mine just says you have a text message, but it only does it once. And it'll on my watch too.
Maybe I have something.
Facebook Messenger on every phone, it just it comes at you.
Yeah, true. You got that annoying bubble.
Renz is enjoying the conversation, by the way. Okay,
and it's Saturday morning over there. So just give you a perspective where he's at.
And he's off work today. It's Labor Day over there.
Oh, look, Renz, look, here we go. Coffee. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Well, I got tea over here. Chai tea.
Good point, Ted. Very good point. Facebook Messenger really does get in your face.
iMessage came out at a time when most people were on an iPhone, and it worked. So you didn't want to leave that experience. It would have took a lot. In 2011, 2012, you said, all right, I'm going to try Android. The moment you left AT&T or Verizon and you couldn't get a video from somebody, you're like, I'm taking it back. Because you use your phone for messaging. That's like one of the things that you use your phone for.
That's probably true.
Google wasn't able to get that right.
That's true.
That's their fault.
That way. How can I help?
See, Google just said it's sorry. I feel that
way. Google is eavesdropping.
They couldn't get it right. That's you can't be mad at iPhone or Apple for not giving that to them.
No. But that was a pivotal moment, though, what they decided to do.
And everybody always says iMessage is only big in the U.S., but the reason is because in the other countries, I don't know, Ted, I think you're from another country, right?
Yeah.
Well, you just said it. Ted, are you from another planet?
No, I'm just making sure, because Ted, right, in the other countries, I know here we were getting charged for text messages. When iPhone came out, they avoided that.
That's right.
In the other countries,
that's right.
It was the same kind of thing, right? So everybody turned to WhatsApp because you weren't getting charged or something, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know in
That's
the
where
UK
it's from.
it was
It's not.
for
It
text
wasn't
messages.
because-
You didn't get charged if you received, only sending.
Yeah. So
And then
so that was
BB and
the-
BlackBerry messages, you didn't really for BlackBerry messages, it was just like a special like $5 or $10 a month like service charge, which
But we were getting charged when people in other countries were not getting charged, and that was a big deal.
That's why for every other country, that's why they don't care about iMessage, because they were already using something else. But here, when we were still getting charged for SMS, and then iMessage came and avoided the charge. That's
right.
what we went to.
This is such a Gary comment.
iMessage and FaceTime.
Look at him. Look at him. iMessage and FaceTime.
I mean,
is
people
the main
get an
iMessage. Nah, Gary, it's because the same thing I always say. What reason do you have to buy an Android phone? Google is giving you everything that you can get on Android on the iPhone.
That's true.
They're giving you can get all those filters, the video modes, all that stuff is right in the Photos app. So why would I go buy a Pixel or whatever?
Good one, Brian.
iMessage plus all that stuff. Like, why wouldn't you? There's not really a benefit to it.
Yeah, that's a good question for you, Will. Why would you be interested in the next Pixel phone when iPhones do all that?
Because I like technology and I'm crazy. But
and he's crazy about Pixel phones no matter what. You know that.
For the average person, there's no reason to.
That's true. He's right.
There's no matter what you could tell somebody that your Samsung or whatever can do, because if you can still get all the Google stuff, because Google just gives it away, why would you not have both? Why wouldn't you let yourself have iMessage and Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp and Telegram and everything? On an Android phone, you can't get iMessage.
And Clubhouse. You can't get Clubhouse on an Android phone.
Yeah. So if you have 2 or 3 family members they have an iMessage chat going, you just are going to mess up the chat all the time. They're not going to switch to another app. You know what I mean?
That's the other thing I was going to say. People's families have iPhones. That makes more people get iPhones.
So in the end, this is what Will and I were talking about. It's kind of scary here in the States that I think we're going to be the minority, us Android.
Yes, we are, because in the rest of the world, Android outsells iPhone 84%, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
85% of the world uses
George. It's because the iPhone is so expensive, though.
Yep,
that's true. That's true.
Because it's expensive. I think if the iPhone was cheaper, they would get an iPhone.
Well, yeah, but what about?
Because George, look here, you still have carriers that you can go to and get a free LG phone.
That's true.
You can go to the store and get a $50 Samsung at the what's that place called, Family Dollar or wherever. So, of course, they're gonna look at guys. Google has a service that you want and need. Get an iPhone, but I bet you'll have. Yeah, but that's the problem, Gary, that they let you use all their services.
That's what Will is saying. Will is saying that's the whole problem.
And that was an interesting point. If they decided to pull YouTube from,
like if they pulled something from it, at least then you would have a reason to be like, oh, I need this.
I never heard of Viber.
Oh yeah,
Viber is big in India.
Viber is it's like a messaging app. You can make phone calls.
That's exactly what it is. It's huge in India.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's like Facebook Messenger. You can make phone calls on that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before we leave, if Eleanor is still here, I'll try doing something special. If she's still here, we'll see.
Okay. Hey, George, it means we have this time.
Because I caved in and gave Renz what he wanted sax-wise, so I guess I can cave in and give Eleanor what she wants singing-wise. If she's still here, we'll see. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to ask you, you surprised us with that A52.
What?
And
Back with Ben Affleck?
Oh yeah, because I was kicking myself all
For real?
last year
Yeah,
because
you
I never
serious?
got any of the Samsung iPhones, and I said as soon as one
Yeah.
comes out, I'm going to get one. Yeah.
okay.
I gotta Google that. You're joking, right?
Oh, look.
For real? That is just playing, right?
Batman always gets the girl.
Ted, are you
Batman
serious?
always, yeah.
Wow.
So George, let me ask you something.
That's crazy.
Go ahead.
What
Oh, wow.
listen to Will. He can't.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is this breaking news?
Really crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's what it seems like.
Yeah, I'm going.
Wow. Dang,
I'm
J-Lo
gonna
is
go and see. I'm gonna go see what's the hot. How do you go on here on Twitter? I don't know. I'll look at it later.
Yeah, go
No,
on
George,
Twitter and see
I
what
just
happens.
wanted to know. What is this?
crazy.
Stop!
I thought
Anyway.
that was like, wow.
Yeah, Will can't stop. So
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable.
He's like, that's just.
why is
Ted,
it
you should have never
unbelievable?
posted that. That's
These are
crazy.
Hollywood stars. This is what they
Yeah.
do, isn't it?
I don't
What they
know.
do is right.
George, from what
It's
you know,
Batman.
they only show us a little bit, but they broke up like, well, you know, in the public like 2 weeks ago. Ben Affleck, though, has he done anything lately?
Yeah,
I
Batman
never
versus
care
Superman.
about these people.
Bat-
I never
Justice
care
League.
about these people's private lives. They mean nothing to me. You know.
Wow.
This
It's
is
well,
right.
you know what
To
though?
high school.
It's like
you're serious.
it's
Unbelievable.
it's like watching a train wreck happening before your eyes. You know, with that stuff.
That's true.
You know.
Hey, that is crazy.
Anyway, what I was going to ask you, George, is now if you look at the A52 and you
Right.
look at the design of it, it's obviously they are taking a lot of design cues from the S21, not so much the Ultra.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, if you put that, I mean, if you really look at that phone and put the S21 and that A52 side by side.
This is the S21 Ultra next to the.
Okay. Now I see that the camera hump in your picture here. The camera there's still a line there where all right. So there is a little bit of physical difference between the two.
Yes. Yeah. But you can see it took us design cues from there. That's for sure.
Right.
You know.
And you really think? I mean, think about it. Is how much performance wise, what do you gain with getting the S21? I know you have the Ultra, so it might be a little bit of an unfair comparison, but where are you gaining from having an Ultra versus just the A52?
All right, I'm going to give it to. Here's how I see it from everything I've
Better Wi-Fi
learned about the
performance,
S21.
better AK recording.
Just the regular S21, I think you're better off getting the A52. But the Ultra is the A52 takes these incredibly beautiful pictures, but when it comes to video or better pictures, the Ultra has it all over it. For me, and I've said this before, the Ultra is by far the best phone I've ever had in my life, including every phone I've ever had, and including every phone I have right now.
George,
the S21 Ultra is by far the best phone I've ever had in my life.
Why?
Because it does everything better than every other phone I've ever had. Pictures, video, everything. Everything. I have, when I got this phone, I couldn't believe how much better it was than my iPhone 12 Pro. I couldn't believe how much better it was than my Pixel 4a. I've never had a phone this good at so many things before this phone. That's how I mean,
I would expect it to be better than Pixel 4a, where at an $800
everything
price
will be
difference.
better than the
Ted has a good question.
But
are you
I
able
have
to
no phone. Now, keep in mind, I've never had the iPhone Pro Max. I mean, the iPhone 12 Max. So
yeah, but
maybe
the iPhone doesn't do everything, George. So it's not
for me. It's the best phone I've ever had.
Does it do DeX? Is the A52 does DeX? Ted wanted to know. I want to know too. So
I believe it does. But I never use Dex, but I believe it does.
Yeah,
Can
but
you
the
find out
battery
now?
on that phone is probably insane.
Yeah, I'm just going to go look it up. That's all I'm going to go to.
Look it up. You have the phone right there, George. Just plug it in.
I don't even know how to connect Dex.
Just plug it in HDMI cable.
I don't have an HDMI.
And Samsung committed to what, 3 or 4 years of updates?
Yes, they did. Yes, they. Hey, Samsung is doing better with updates than almost anybody at this point.
I know they're beating Google now.
Yeah.
Gary says it doesn't have Dex. Brian
Okay.
too.
I'm interested to see what price Google comes at with the next Pixel, because if they don't stay about $700, they're gonna have a problem.
Does the 852 have Samsung Pay?
Yes, it does.
It doesn't
Yes, it
have
does.
the MST. I don't think they got rid of that.
they got rid of all
They
that.
got
So
rid
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
no,
It does have Samsung Pay.
yeah, they're Sam. Yeah, it has NFC, so it can do
Yes.
it can do both.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
just
does not have Dex. Okay.
yeah, it does not seem it doesn't appear to have Dex. So
Right.
so it's just an interesting thing that
And here's a good point from Gary. Ultra uses
wireless Dex.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jason's got 22 people use Dex. Let's be honest. It's true. It's true.
And you're probably right, Jason. But every single person I've seen that uses Dex love Dex.
Mhm.
I've never seen any of the YouTubers that use Dex that didn't love Dex. That's true. I just don't bother with it.
I just of a lot lately, these phones have come out, and I can't even stomach the thought of spending the money for just the S21 or what's the OnePlus 9. No, yeah, OnePlus 9. You know what I mean?
I've gotten more selective now. For me, OnePlus has just completely dropped off my radar. My OnePlus 7 Pro, that's the last OnePlus phone. I still love that phone, but I don't see any reason for me to run out and buy a OnePlus phone. They'd have to give me a reason at this point.
Right. It seems like you get all the Samsung goodness out of that A52 and whenever the A72 comes out, you know what I mean.
Yeah. And that's my first A phone, but I was determined to get one, and I love that phone.
Would you mind telling us how much
right now?
Yeah, how much was that?
$500.
Okay.
$499.
Okay.
But this is my main phone line. This is my secondary phone line, and the Ultra now has my third phone line. But these three phones have an active phone line.
What's that blue one? What's that blue one there? Is that the iPhone?
That's the iPhone 12 Pro. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Screw Google Pay. I've been collecting stamps for the Spring Cash $30 back challenge, and they are holding out on me.
They revamped Google.
Yeah. No, Gary. No, Gary. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not a Samsung. I'll never be a Samsung. For one thing, I'm not into insulting people, so I could never be a Samsung Knight.
The A series, Jason's comment.
Jason's right. The A series outsold every phone in the world last year.
Mm-hmm. And you can't say the Fold. The Fold is a Halo device.
Thanks, Big Us. Yeah, I'd like to get a real folding device, but like Ted and I have talked before, I'd like to get the Z Flip, but I don't have that kind of money to spend on everything. Would you say, Will?
You have a folding phone, right?
No, I have dual screen phones.
You have a Duo. It folds.
I have a Duo, but the screen does not fold.
He needs the screen to fold.
No, I'm just saying I'd like to have a phone with a folding screen, but I'm not going to spend that money. Plus, the new Duo is going to come out, and I know I'm going to go out and buy that.
Oh God! Please don't, George.
Yes, I have to. I'm telling you, anybody who owns a Duo falls in love with a Duo. All of us do.
All 10.
I don't know anybody who does. Even with all the problems, you still once you start using a
All
Duo,
10 of
you
y'all.
cannot.
You can love a
You
Duo
get hooked
as long
on
as
it.
you have another device to use as a phone.
Well, that's you're probably right about that, Ted. You're probably right about that.
I don't know. Like I was telling you,
if you're going to use a dual screen phone, nothing touches the Duo. Nothing.
I don't even get the point. Like, who wants to stand there and have to open their phone up that big? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
it's nice sometimes. It's nice sometimes.
Yeah, but
When I'm
that's what I'm
exercising
saying.
in here, it's great.
You're paying, let's say $1,500 for some
You're
time.
paying $1,400, but yeah, you're paying a lot of money. I'll give you that.
For sometimes, like sometimes I might open it, and the other times when it's open, it's in the way. Like I don't.
Well, you just fold it back. That's all. You just fold it back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So if let's say how many when you use that phone, what percentage of time do you use it unfolded?
I'd say
well,
at least 60 to 65% of the time. If I have the Duo in my hands, I'm probably using it on with both screens at the same time, and I'm probably using with two different things on the screens. For instance, you know me, I watch a lot of preachers. I will often watch a service with the preacher preaching on one side and me having the Bible app open on what he's preaching on the other side. I find that awesome. Yeah, yes, I can do that on my Velvet, but not as easy as I can do it on my Duo.
I guess I don't know. You're balling, George, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Keep in mind, there's a lot of phones I don't buy because of these expensive phones.
No, I'm just saying,
so.
like sometimes that I can't. Like if I buy a phone like that, I want to always have a reason to use both screens, or it's not worth it. Like it's not. I don't know.
It comes in handy.
I'll never understand.
Comes in handy when you want two screens. That's the point.
I'll never understand the whole open and folding the phone. To me, I'll never get it.
I like it when I use the Velvet. The Velvet is a nice two-screen phone, but it's just much more cumbersome to use that as a two-screen phone than it is the Duo, for me.
So when you go back, George, and you use your Ultra, whatever that phone is, right? Are you sitting there like, man, I wish this phone could open up?
No, I just walk over and pick up my Duo. So, of course, I never say that when I'm out.
If you didn't have the Duo in your pocket, you feel like you're missing out.
Yeah. There are times when I would, but keep in mind, the vast majority of the time when I want dual screens, I am home, so I have the Duo.
Mike, if they had a folding phone for $700, would you buy it?
I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
No, you bought it for double.
No. If they had a folding, I thought you meant a folding screen. No, I thought you meant a folding screen.
To me, the use case for it is not. There's not enough of a reason to even justify the phone exists.
And that's why I call it. It's a Halo. It's a Halo device.
You're being much more practical, Will. But those of us who have had the Duo, everybody falls in love with the Duo once you start using it.
It's just a bigger screen. Like
it is.
I don't understand. Like
it's a bigger screen. It's a bigger screen that opens two screens in a much smoother way than any other phone that I know.
It's the best device to read ebooks off of, according to Michael Fisher. And I can see how that is.
There you go.
So George, you read ebooks a lot.
Not much anymore. I have one right now.
Like, to me, it's not all right. The phone is folded open.
I don't use it for you reading ebooks. I use it for when I actually want to watch.
It's folded open. It's giving you two screens, which is great, right? But when you get those two screens open, it's still running the same apps that every other Android phone can run. So I don't understand
except that I can't watch them both side by side, especially like in the scenario I gave you when guys are preaching and I want to follow it in the Bible at the same time. I can do that with the Velvet. I can do that with the Duo.
I guess. I don't know.
I said you're being more practical.
Yeah,
about
that's
it
the
than me.
thing.
I admit that.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's ever going to take off. because it's
Look
not
at Gary's question.
Yes, Gary.
It's not like a practical thing. That's what.
Yeah.
Would you get
Gary,
would you
I
get
have to think my answer would most likely be yes.
and Will, would you get it if it ran Windows OS?
I don't think Will would.
No,
You broke up there, bud.
no, because
I didn't think
because
so.
it's Windows, and I would know it's not going to be no kind
He
of
would still
support.
have the same arguments against it would still apply, right, Will?
Yeah, because I just don't see the point of it. Like,
Right.
For
And
something
he's
that I'm
not going
gonna
to see the
see
point
right
whether it has
away.
Windows OS or not.
like my use case of it is going to be closed.
I would prefer
80%
Android. If it ran Windows, hell no.
It's going to be closed for me probably
I probably
90% of
would.
the time. So what's the point of spending all that money on it? It's not like when you open it, it's unlocking something special. Even when you open it, George, right? It's
Right.
giving you the, let's say, YouTube and your book or whatever. And if I really wanted to see YouTube in the book, I could do the split screen. It might not be ideal, but
That's
I
true.
can do the split
That's
screen
true.
on any Android phone.
And I have done that with some
And
other
that
phones
phone,
with
the
the split
camera's
screen,
not even-
but it's not
not even good.
it's not as natural as it is with the Duo. That's all I can tell you.
They got you with that marketing.
No, they got me by using it. It's what makes people that have the Duo fall for it is using it, not marketing. It's using it that makes you, and especially
I'm
if
never
you have
gonna fall
another
for
dual
it.
screen phone.
Unless you send me yours, I'll never have it. Listen, George, that's how uninterested I was when I first seen it.
If
I
if I'm allowed to come to Jersey this year, I will bring it with me and show it to you. How's that?
I went to the store and played with it for a little bit, and I said, "There's no way."
But
I
it
was-
did feel good though. Well,
You gotta know I'm starting to itch from good long drives. So.
But it
Yeah.
was missing too much stuff. I don't even think it doesn't even have a camera on the outside, right, George?
No, it just has the one camera, and I hope they make that better this year. I'm hoping they make that better.
that's a
The camera
webcam,
is
not a
the
camera.
camera is the biggest pain in
It's a
the
what?
butt to
What'd you
use.
say,
It's
George?
not that the camera.
It's a
Not that the
webcam,
camera's
not a
so
camera.
bad, but it's a pain in the butt to use the camera. I have to admit that.
And then to protect the screen, you got to close it, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if somebody calls me, I got to open the phone. That's ridiculous.
Oh no. One thing I will say, the one thing you don't want to do on a Duo is have phone calls. It's terrible.
Yeah, like
it is
yeah,
terrible.
there's no point. I think that was what turned me off. I was like, you got to keep opening the phone to see who's calling you, to see who's. Yeah, no.
Yeah, making phone calls on that thing is bad. It's just a bad experience all the way around, in my opinion. But it works fine. Yeah. So at least I'm giving you the straight up honest
The reason
truth.
you're buying it is a bad experience. The phone part of it is a bad experience.
No.
You just said the phone part is
I'm
a
not
bad
buying
experience.
it. The phone part is?
See,
I don't use
like,
that
if
for
I
the
was
phone
to have
part.
that,
I
listen,
use
if I
it
was
for
to
when
buy
I'm
that,
watching two screens.
if I was to buy that, I would
I
have to
use
have a
it for when
smartwatch.
I'm watching
I
two
would have to have-
screens.
I would have to have an Android watch.
Will,
earbud.
trust me, you're not going to get it, so I can't make you get it. Okay.
Nobody, George.
But yes, when the new
Listen,
one comes out, I am going to try to get it. You can count on it.
All 10 of y'all that got it are the only ones that get it because you're forcing yourself to get it because you spent the money on it. You're making yourself get it because you were doing
Mike, you got a
everything
question
fine.
there.
No.
You did everything fine with your other phone. You do fine with all them other phones you got that don't have two screens.
I'm not saying I don't.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You're making yourself
no.
like you're saying. I got to
Hold on. He's not making it.
Why does
did you just
every
say
single person that has one complain
What'd you say,
about it
Mike?
and they still love using the thing? It's not
Wait,
just
wait.
me; it's all of us.
Yeah,
This
all
happens
10 of
to
you.
every single
10
one of us.
The 10 people who
Well,
have
maybe,
it.
Well, wait a minute.
George, listen, George,
Some of the guys have gotten disgusted with the phone
George, you were
and
like,
sold it
you
and
said-
bought it again.
George,
It's-
you said
It's like old times,
making a
folks.
phone call on it is horrible. So
Oh man.
Yes, it is.
God forbid you have that
I
phone.
don't.
and
I
that's your
don't
only
make
phone.
phone calls on it.
So if that's your
Will.
only phone and taking a phone call on it is horrible, but you still like it.
I would never buy
Mine is
that. If it
taking
was
a
my
phone
own.
call
I
on
would
it.
never buy that if it was my only phone. Nobody would. I don't
Mhm.
think. You know. And let's be realistic, Will. Do any of us buy a phone for making phone calls? I highly doubt it.
What do you mean? For
Yeah, we
making
do make phone calls, but
No,
none
but I
of us
want the-
buy a phone for phone
But
calls.
I want the phone to be useful when the phone rings. I don't want to be like, let me open it and see who's calling me.
Well,
Oh,
I
it's just a
can
phone
make
call. Let me
phone
close
calls
it.
on it. I just don't. I can make phone calls on it, and
You
yes,
don't like
I
it.
can hear everything just fine. I just don't like how it feels when I make a phone call. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I'll never have one.
Okay, that's fine, and you're allowed.
It's not gonna
Okay,
be
Gary,
involved.
if you say so.
Gary is buying one, but that form factor.
At least they know I'm going to buy another one. You know.
Wasn't there just an article that said Samsung didn't really sell a lot of folds either? It's not going to be like it's not.
Well, I remember Jay Will thought it was 4 or 5 years down the road. Maybe it's still 4 years down the road. I don't know.
I
You
don't.
know,
I don't think.
I think even MKBHD thinks at some point folds are going to become, normal. But who knows when that's going to happen? It's going to be a while.
When Apple
It's going
starts
to have to
doing
come
it.
down in price. You know
There
that.
you go, Ted. When Apple does it.
Oh yeah, see,
that's probably true. That's probably true.
But you know what? If Apple
At
came
least
out
in
with
America.
if Apple came out with a folding phone, I wouldn't buy it because I don't see the point.
Yeah, but you see the trouble will when you tell us you won't buy a phone.
No.
None of us believe you.
No. It's not a George, it's not a pixel.
You have a track record, Will. When you say you're not
doesn't-
going to buy something, we can't believe you.
George, it's not a pixel though. It's a folding phone.
I understand that.
There's no
But I think Apple and Pixel, those are the two we can't believe
The
you.
only folding phone that I like, I was telling Mike yesterday, was the Z Flip. I like that one because you're making
I like the
it
Z Flip
smaller.
too.
You're making
Yeah.
it smaller. But the
Yeah, I like
folding
the Z
phone this
Flip too.
way and it's twice as thick and it can't even
Yeah.
fold flat.
That's the one I would get too if I was going to spend the money. Yeah. I agree with you there.
Yeah, that would be the one, but you already know Samsung is probably gonna not update it.
I thought the Note was going to be announced at this Unpacked event, but I guess it's dead, guys.
The what? The Note?
Yeah,
I think the Note is dead
yeah.
because they already put the S Pen in the.
Bad news,
Ultra.
Brown.
George, do you
Gary
have the
says
S Pen?
killed it, but now Renz has another opinion here. Okay.
I think Sammy's going to bring out the Note next year and just the last Note. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of. Good.
Seems to be a lot of divergent opinions about that.
Have you guys been seeing a lot of talk about the FE coming out? I saw some more the S21 FE. There's been talk about that coming out.
I'm thinking because of the A series, maybe it won't. I think they should because that was
would
an
be
extremely
crazy.
popular phone. Because I think the A series is awfully close to it, don't you?
Yeah, that's just the thing. Way they're saying there's a lot of talk of it. It's impending. It's like going to be coming out soon. And then we will see. Oh, it is 5 months after the S series came out, and then you got the A series is 52 that just came out not only like a month ago.
Exactly.
And they're, so what are they thinking? Is beyond me, but I don't know.
For me, it wouldn't make sense to come out with an FE, but maybe they have a good reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. Don't forget they make these deals with these suppliers too. You know what I mean? So they got to come out with something. Yet to see the Qualcomm 870 show up here in America in a phone, but that's supposed to be a thing.
Right.
So
Galaxy 21 FE is supposed to come out August 19th. Ren's just like Ren's just like that. I'll put it up on the screen.
Okay.
what's that? The possible release date?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yep.
Oh yeah. I belong. What is that? What's that one? It's Sam's Mobile.
Sam Mobile, yeah.
On Telegram is on there, and man, they get a lot of stuff flying through there.
Sam Mobile always has everything about Samsung. They always know what's they always have usually before everybody else.
It looks okay enough.
All right, guys, we are at 10 after 10.
Yeah, I know.
And Mike, I think Renz wants you to be back here next week, I think.
Well, we will definitely try. I almost came on last week, but I didn't literally, but I shot myself in the foot at something at work, of course, about an hour before I had to go. And that just threw everything out.
Yeah,
so,
that'll do it every time. Understandable.
I don't know. I'm not speaking for Will, but I know Will's been going to school, and he told me he had time off, and just the last few, actually for me personally at work, we had 3 people on vacation, and one just called out today. So out of a crew of 10 guys that covers 4 counties. The staffing was the guys are busy, and they're but busy for me for this week. When they're busy, they don't have time to go and find new work, and they're behind on their work. So in turn, I don't have a lot of stuff to. I mean, I got stuff to do. Don't get me wrong, but it was able me to. I was leaving 6, 5:30 today. I left it at 4:30 today. And gave me time. I had to take care of some things. So let me see what next week brings. We'll take it from there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a possibility. It's just, the last few weeks, when I called you, George, way back when, it's just like my tail was dragging bad. So.
I understand. But hey, but at least you guys know I'm going to send you the link every week. So
I know. Like I said, I knew I had that link. I was going to surprise you. And just show up, just like tonight, So glad we can crash the parties. Folks. As I tweeted out, we crashed the party. So
crash it every time. Hey, don't remember this thing started with the 3 of us, and then Ted became the star. That's all.
So I like the term. What was that?
All
the
right, folks.
The 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen.
Exactly. So thanks to everybody for coming in. We had a really good discussion tonight. And, of course, with Mike and Will, of course, we had a really good discussion. We always do. So, and, of course, as always, you get to see Ted go back and forth from the dark side to the light side. And he likes to mess with you camera-wise. So that's always something to look forward to. So, Ted, you got it next week? Or do one of you 2 guys want to take it next week?
Yeah, let's play it safe.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right, Ted.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
let Ted do it.
Actually, no. Why can't Mike do it?
We'll be on
Let's
TED
Mike
Talks next week.
I'm sorry, Mike. Why couldn't you do it?
I don't want to guarantee because I don't know what my work could be. That's why I've been
work is crazy.
Work is just I some nights I was getting home on a Friday at 8:00.
Okay.
Yeah.
So until I know I can get back to a normal routine where I can plan out and know I can get home in time and all that stuff, and not have my my tail dragging heavily. So,
all right.
Will's channel.
So we still have Ted full of. Oh, thanks, Renz. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Renz.
Renz always comes through.
Gary is on life support. I think I still have.
What's he saying? Oh, hey, If Will makes a video and surprises us all one day after we all get up off the floor, then we'll appreciate it and give it a like.
There you go.
Well, Will, if Will's doing his drone, he couldn't fly it today. Let me tell you.
110 subs. I'm killing it. I'm monetized. Hey, Ted, where are you at now, Ted? You should have a decent number.
I'm at 121.
So me and Ted are going to put our subs together.
There you go.
We got 331.
There you go. All right, folks. Come back into TED Talks next week. Hopefully, both these great guys will be back as usual.
Hopefully,
and
put your hands together.
Yep. I hope everybody has a wonderful and blessed weekend. And I'm supposed to have a beautiful weekend all weekend. So tomorrow I'll be cutting grass. I'll be riding motorcycle. I'll be riding bicycle. So I expect to have a full day.
And Gary, make sure you guys, Gary, try to come more often. I know,
Gary,
I know
everybody misses you when you're not here, Gary. That's
bad
almost
news, Brown.
as much as they miss Mike and Will. So that's how big a part of the show you are.
Will versus Ted.
There you go.
Oh, Ted, did you get that thing ready? You got it going?
No, I got to order the trim plate. It's at my girlfriend's place.
Oh.
All right, everybody, have a good weekend, and we'll see you on
everybody.
Ted's channel next week. Good night, all.
Good night.
Here comes the President Claus, as always.
Oh, hold up.